As they include artwork that is as portable as a piece of paper, art museums are a burglar's paradise. With billions of dollars available each year, art crime can be second only to drug trafficking in terms of profitability. One of the most lucrative and widespread types of illicit trafficking, art theft generates about $9 billion in revenue each year for the criminals involved. In contrast to how the rest of the world perceives it, art crime is as real as the sneer on the Mona Lisa's face. Here are the top 10 art thefts in history in terms of financial gain. 10. The Ghent Altarpieces Panels, 1934. The peculiar background of Noah Charney, the most stolen picture in history. On the evening of April 10, 1934, two panels of the Jan and Hubert van Eyck created Ghent altarpiece from the 15th century were taken. The panel was cut in half vertically by the thieves. The reverse, which made up the first half, featured a grisaille portrait of St. John the Baptist. The burglar, who demanded a $22,300 ransom for the other side of the panel that featured the righteous judges, left it in a checked luggage area of the Ghent train station as a token of good faith. Before disclosing where the painting was, the alleged thief Arsène Goïdetier, who had sent an anonymous letter requesting a ransom, passed away. It's still missing. But this 12-panel picture had been stolen before. More than a dozen times in its 588-year history, including by both Napoleon and Hitler, it, or portions of it, have been taken. 9. Vandalism and theft of the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa, a painting by Leonardo da Vinci, is arguably the most well-known in the entire world and is infamous for being the target of art theft and destruction. In 1911, an Italian carpenter named Vincenzo Perugia and two associates took the painting and escaped on a train. The painting was kept by Perugia, who at one point hid it under the floorboards of his Parisian residence. In an effort to return the artwork to Italy as a lost treasure, he made an attempt to sell the artwork to a dealer in Florence after 2 years. When the dealer contacted the director of the Uffizi Galleries, who then recovered control of the situation and called the police, the transaction went awry. In 1956, a vandal attempted to rip the Mona Lisa painting with a razor blade. This was the second art crime involving the painting. The painting was not harmed in any way. Hugo Unjaga Villegas, a Bolivian, threw a rock at the picture that same year. A small piece of paint from the artwork was knocked off and afterwards fixed by professionals. Japanese woman Tomoko Yonezu, then 25 years old, attempted to spray paint the canvas red in 1974. Between 20 and 30 drops of the paint were successfully sprayed over Leonardo's painting, but it was unharmed. A Russian woman who was denied French citizenship in 2009 shattered a teacup against the picture. The Mona Lisa, however, was unharmed. Lastly, in 2022, a 36-year-old guy dressed as a lady in a wheelchair caked Mona Lisa during anti-climate change demonstrations. 8. Largest art theft in Canada involving 18 paintings, 1972. Have you ever seen these artworks? The largest theft of works of art in Canadian history. This robbery has elements of a Hollywood thriller. At 2 in the morning, burglars broke into the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts through the roof. 3 guards were handcuffed and gagged as 18 paintings and 39 pieces of jewelry were stolen. Artworks by Rubens, Rembrandt, and Delacroix were among the stolen pieces. It's conceivable that the burglars were examining the museum to find the best way of entrance because the museum had been fixing the skylight. They stole artwork estimated to be worth $2 million. The Rembrandt alone was worth $1 million at the time. Since the Globe and Mail estimated that the Rembrandt painting was about 20 times more valuable in 2003 than it was in 1972, you can only imagine how much the artworks are worth today. The Montreal Mafia may have been involved in the crime, they added. The artwork has never been located. 7. The Sea of Galilee's Storm. Rembrandt van Ron's painting The Storm on the Sea of Galilee is thought to be the only seascape Rembrandt has created that features Jesus and his miracle-working calming of the Sea of Galilee. One of the most expensive missing works of art in the world is The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, which Rembrandt painted in 1633. In 2013, the FBI asserted that a group, not a single person, had committed the theft. However, nothing has been spoken about the artwork after that time. A $5 million reward has been offered for information that results in the painting's return. 6. Boston's Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, 1990. At the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston on March 18, 1990, two thieves posing as policemen took 13 masterpieces valued at $500 million. The theft is still the biggest unsolved art crime in history, 3 decades later. Within 81 minutes, the two robbers had taken masterpieces by Edgar Degas, Jan van Eyck, Vermeer, and Rembrandt. One of the artworks taken was Vermeer's 1664 painting, The Concert. The artwork holds the record for being the most expensive and unrecovered work of art in the world, with a value estimate of $200 million. Since all efforts to apprehend the criminals have failed, the museum offered a $10 million reward for any information that would help in the return of the stolen works of art. The total worth of the lost works of art is estimated to be $1 billion. 5. The work of Benvenuto Cellini, 2003. The Saliera, a sculpture of land and water created by Renaissance painter Benvenuto Cellini in 1543 for a golden selling cellar, was taken out of its display case at the Kunsthistorisches Museum in Vienna in 2003. The procedure triggered an alert, which a security guard mistook for an accident. Wilfried Seipel, the museum's director at the time, estimated the value of the artwork at $60 million and described the theft as a calamity. Security specialist Robert Mang was identified as the burglar in 2006 after he made 2 efforts to obtain $12 million in ransom in exchange for the artwork. 4. Turner Paintings by J.M., 1994. Raiders of the Lost Art: The Curious Case of J.M.W. Turner's later works. Perspective. Although discussing insurance is never fun in a museum of art, it was very important in this theft. While on loan from the Tate Britain, 2 J.M.W. Turner paintings were stolen in 1994 from Schönkunsthal, Frankfurt. The men were apprehended and charged by Frankfurt police, but they were unaware of the whereabouts of the paintings at the time. The artwork was covered by a £24 million insurance policy, and the Tate received payment for their claim. The Tate repurchased the rights to the missing Turner's works in a show of true authority with the expectation that they would be the lawful owners of the works when they were discovered. The Tate eventually paid a variety of fees in exchange for information regarding the lost Turners. The Tate finally received both Turners back in 2000 and 2002. 3. Still Life by Van Gogh in Giza, 2010. Real Stories: The Greatest Art Heist of the 21st Century. Stolen Van Gogh documentary, The Poppy Flowers Still Life by Vincent van Gogh, painted in 1887, was on display in the Mohammed Mahmoud Khalil Museum in Giza, Egypt. Although it was virtually hard to steal the artwork, when it was cut from its frame and left the institution in 2010, the museum only saw 9 visitors. The alarm on the painting and other inactive alarms across the museum contributed to the theft's success. According to estimates, the painting is worth between $50 million and $55 million. The missing component is still present today. While some people commit art crimes for the excitement, it can also be lucrative, bringing in thousands or even millions of money for the offender. To combat art crimes, institutions, authorities, and collectors are working together. 2. Art fraud. A multi-million-dollar industry is fake art. More people are passing off other people's work as their own as a result. The absence of dating and authentication techniques for prospective purchasers and dealers makes forgery possible. Then there are the extremely skilled forgers who are deceiving even the professionals. Art forgery will always be prevalent if the right procedures and staff aren't in place. Due of their extreme fame and prolific productivity, Dalí, Picasso, Matisse, and Klee are some common targets for forgeries. Forgers purposefully include defects or secret messages to shield themselves from future forging accusations. It has been known for forgers to gain enough renown that their counterfeits stand on their own as valuable collectibles. Beginning with Roman antiquities, he had carved, aged, buried, and then ostentatiously dug up, Michelangelo began to market them. Because of the quality of his work and the fact that he was already well known, he avoided paying the piper when he was discovered selling a fake cherub to the Pope's nephew. Instead, it became a succès scandale that enhanced his reputation. 1. Fake art world fraud. The lack of regulation in the art world makes it simple to get away with shady frauds. For scamming investors, artists, and customers, former New York City gallerist Larry Salander was recently given a 6 to 18-year jail sentence. He is thought to have made around $120 million through a variety of strategies, including selling illegal works, giving fake sales information, failing to notify consignors when a sale was happening, obtaining loans, and keeping funds rather than sending them.